Hello there, YouTube. My name is Gotcha, or Brett, whatever you want to call me. I'm here today to bring you a step-by-step install, flash, and basic setup to get you in the air with the FlightOne firmware. So, without delaying this any further, let's get right into it. First step would be to go to flightone.us. Well, it used to be US, now it's .com. Go up here to the downloads, and right here you got all your options for everything. This is where you get everything FlightOne. You got the Mac client right here, your Windows client 32 and 64, your Linux client. You also have your the current firmware. There's two different places to get this stuff from. You go flightone.us or .com, and then go to downloads or flightone.com/beta. The beta is the test ones. I wouldn't recommend going there unless you want to get the latest and greatest that could have potential issues. Here's your Lua scripts for your Tranus, your firmware downloads, and the YouTube video on how to do this as well. I already downloaded the client here in the 64-bit. I have a 64-bit processor. This is the file that when you download it, it'll be. Click on there, on the FlightOne.exe, and you extract all. I usually select a file, RaceFlight. I've run all RaceFlight. I'm still using the original GUI. This is literally a fresh install. I will not be overdoing something I already have. I have it on RaceFlight, not FlightOne. So double click there, and it should open up the GUI. There it is. What you're looking at now is the FlightOne GUI. Now, what you do is you take your quad or flight controller. I've seen it done many ways. Guys like to do their flight controller separate before they build a quad. I've always done it where you build the quad. I built the quad, and then I download the firmware after everything's already built. I have my Chameleon built, and there it is, loading up. Error. This will happen at all times. So we're gonna update firmware, and you don't have to do anything other than literally click you see update firmware. Unlike Beta Flight has you have to download the firmware and then upload it. Right here, it's already built into the GUI. You click on the one you want. You have the option to also doing it the other way as well. It's preparing for flash. But before you go any further after this, well, after flashing, you should bind your receiver to your radio and have a good 4-cell or 3-cell battery for your quad on hand so you can plug it in. Mine's already bound since I already flew it on the old firmware. And here we go. We're gonna start right up. Oh, radio's already good. Okay. I run Spectrum, so I select Spectrum. If you have Tyrannus here, others if you have Futaba, Crossfire here. I don't need to use this because I know how to. Basically, Spectrum, you're using UART1. TX1 is your signal, and power and ground. I have a TBS in this one. I have it also on smart audio as well. So my smart audio is RX3, I think. Yes, RX3, or is it TX3? If you have Tramp or a different one, you have there as well. Also, it gives you a video on how to set it up. I am running BL Heli S. I do not have the newest, latest and greatest OSD version. This is your BL Heli 32. With running BL Heli 32, you will also need to use um, the pass-through for the BL Heli suite. Other ESCs you select there. So I'm actually using the Bolt, which is pictures right here, which is BL Heli S. I run reverse props. I think it's better. Pushes you away from trees if you hit uh, directly on. It also pushes stuff away from your camera. I I've had no bad lucks with it. I've just what I've done from the beginning. There's pros and cons to it all. Here you go. Now that's set up. Now we got to go. Here's your main page. You can bind Spectrum right here. Get your radio data and all that kind of stuff. But yep, as you see right here, it says not completed yet. So we launch Wizard. I run freestyle, so that's what I do. This is how I set it up. It doesn't mean that you have to set it up this way. It's just how I set it up. I've never had a single issue with it. I like the smoothing of the sticks, helping with that. I have a 5-inch. You have a 3-inch and a 6-inch option as well. 6 or bigger, I should say. Okay, here's where it matters where you want your quad. Flat. Quad is flat. And now you want to hold it vertical or on its nose. What this is doing is setting the orientation of the flight controller. The Revolt or millivolt flight controller do not are not directional. They do not need a specific direction on the quad. So if you want your USB port pointing a different direction than the arrow shows, by all means do it. It is not stopping you from doing it anyway. It not stopping you from doing that. It done. That's done because it changes the orientation right there. That's where the orientation is. Now we're setting up your receiver. It's detecting the receiver. Should be transmitting within 10 feet. Done. Good. Setting up the radio. Hit next. Now I'm spinning the throttles and pitch and yaw around in many different directions. Just moving the sticks, basically. Not just once or twice, many times. And as it says right here, place the throttle at idle and keep yaw and pitch rolls centered. Set the throttle to top. Push yaw stick right. Pitch stick to the top. Pitch stick to the right. Disarmed. My switch is already disarmed. Flip your switch for the disarm switch. And complete. Okay, now here's where it gets a little bit more tricky. Remove your props. Do not have props on when you do this. It's general rule of safety. Just don't have them on. Don't want to have to go to the hospital. Update ESCs. I have removed all the props and connected a battery. Just connected the battery, as you probably heard. Hope you did. It's updating the ESCs, and you're going to hear some beeps here out of the motors. This usually does not take this long, as the longest I've had it take. There it is. It's all it tones. After the click OK. Boom. And here we go. Everything's good. Done. Now we do the motors. I remove props, connect the battery. Props removed, batteries still connected. Good. Remove props, disconnect the battery. Batteries disconnected. Still no props installed. Okay, plug battery in, wait for the tones. I'm going to try to get the quad as close to the mic as possible so you can hear the tones. And then press OK after all the tones are done. That should do it. Okay. Okay. Done. See, we're getting complete. Now we're going to be fixing motor direction and idle. Connect to the battery, remove props. Should not have props on. I can't say that enough. Are all the motors spinning? Yes, all my motors are spinning. Back left one is spinning right now. I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm working on getting a better setup here. Back right is hooked up. Try to get a nice camera so you can actually see what I'm working on as well. And get some pictures of what my quads and stuff are. I will try to post those to my YouTube page. Front right. I will also probably be making a Facebook page just for this handle. Just starting doing this, so the views are appreciated. The motors were spinning, all spinning in the correct direction, but you have to do this. You start motors here. I'm gonna go through a couple tones. Yep, all spinning in the correct direction, outwards, from the middle outwards. That's how I do it. That's reverse props. It's got its pros and cons. Okay, you have two different ways to view this, to do this now. After all 1 through 6 are done, now you set your leveling, your modes, basically your flight modes, or your switches right now. This is the new way to do it. You can click one of these and then just flip your switches, and it'll automatically detect which ones. I like to do it the old way. Yes, I do put level on just in case I let a new person fly my quad. Which I'm not afraid. It's Chameleon lifetime warranty. They're fantastic. I believe it's 7. Maybe not. There it is. I put everything on. I don't know why, I just do. And then I fly in brain drain. Oh no, I go 40 here. Oh, this screen, brand new monitor for me, so can't really see where the sorry, I go 39 here, and I go 40, 40. No, I do 39 here, 40 here, 39 here. There it is. That's how I do it. You don't have to as long as this little dot right here is inside the red where your switches are. My failsafe, it's Spectrum, it's already built in. Buzzer, don't need that because I don't have a buzzer on. I don't have LEDs right now. VTX, profile 2, 3, Quopa, preload. You can set preload. I have not done it. I'm interested in looking into it, but I'm not going to do that right now. I think this one's 7. Oh, 9, 5. There it is, 5. I like having the motor beep on my other switch. So there's off, this is on. You got auto KI, you got kill switch, VTX channel, and OSD menu. I do not have OSD. This is V3 Revolt and the V2 Bolt. There we go, saving. All my settings are there. Now we go into configuration. Reverse prop direction, always double arm. You can take this off if you want, but I like the double arm. I don't mess with this. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me. You can if you want. Spectrum TX pin is UART1. Tyrannus. If you're using a Tyrannus or Crossfire, you got to turn these on versus Spectrum telemetry. Kill band low 8. TX3. Yep, I was right there. Smart audios on TX3. And here's where your ESC controls are. You have all those different options. I just use multi-shot. They recommend. So, an LED color. This is if you have LEDs. I have tested it on a couple of different quads, and it does work. It works good. I'm actually going to be putting it on this quad soon. I just got to get the right parts, and I'll put a tutorial how to do that as well. Yep, right here. I hit save. Whatever. Okay, PID tuning. Change PID levels. I literally just fly on the. Interesting. They added more. I fly on the 419 tune, and as you see, you can see how the PIDs change here between each tune. It's just how that's how they fly. I mean, they all fly very differently. I have tried, and you can have multiple different PIDs set. Here, watch this. I literally don't touch anything, and it flies great. Right here, right down here where it says profile 1, you have 3 separate profiles. You can set this to a switch. I have done this. I had a failure in the system when I had this active. But this is how you're supposed to do it. That's what I read. Profile, so if you have profile 2, you can go in profile 2 and actually put that as a different PIDs. And then profile 3, different PIDs as well. I stopped doing that because of that failure I had. I just fly on the 1, it flies good for me, so I just leave it. So I go back here to setup. Hold on here. Make sure I saved it. Yep, I did. Okay. Go to ESCs. Start power timing, demag. There used to be an option for the tones. It stopped doing that. I don't know why. I hope they added in. RaceFlight, FlightOne now. Sorry, I'm old school. If you're watching this, please put those back. I beg you, please put them back. I want them back. I want my Mario tunes back. You got your logging, your console. There's your shop. That leads right to the RaceFlight shop. As you see, loading. My internet's slow. Let's just go back here. Here's telemetry. Here, look at that. I'm wiggling my. Let's see if it works. Oh nope, that's on the motor. Yep, that's not what my quad looks like, but it's a quad nonetheless. Okay, after that, it literally is just test and fly. Here we go. You hear them? Everything works. It's working properly. Save, unplug, and exit. Well, there you go. That's an easiest way to set up a quad. I mean, I've set up a couple Betaflight ones. Not bashing on Betaflight is just, but I find RaceFlight to be super, super simple, and it flies great. If you have any questions, please leave comments in the comments below, and I subscribe. I fly with my friend Crunchy FPV. I will put a link to his channel in there. I also am introducing new things. I'm going to be getting into new things with some other people down in Florida. I live in Wisconsin. Um, that's where I'm going to be posting all my videos from, mostly. If I do travel, I will go over there. I don't know. That's all I have for you today. Subscribe, please. It helps me out. I'm starting this up. Talk to you later.